Starting today, you are no longer allowed to call me Mom. The words echoed through Eleanor Parker's 70th birthday celebration. More than 50 relatives were present. No one could believe that the woman who had just spoken those words was the same woman who had raised Emily for 25 years. Emily stood frozen. The glass in her hand trembled slightly. The entire room fell silent. But what nobody knew was that just 3 days earlier, Eleanor had secretly uncovered a truth that could destroy the entire family. And tonight, she had decided to reveal it all. Emily had been adopted when she was only 6 months old. Eleanor and her husband had never been able to have children. They poured all of their love into that little girl. From her very first day of school, to every school performance, every illness, every failure, Eleanor was always there. When her husband passed away, Emily became her only source of comfort. At least, that was what Eleanor believed. Everything changed when Emily married Ryan. Ryan always appeared polite, thoughtful, perfect. But Eleanor never truly trusted him. She had no proof, only a mother's instinct. And then an unexpected phone call changed everything. 3 days before her birthday, Eleanor received a call from her bank. At first, she assumed it was a mistake. But after checking her account, she discovered that more than $200,000 had disappeared from her retirement fund. The money had been transferred in multiple smaller transactions. Over several months, the only person authorized to access the account besides Eleanor was Emily. Her heart nearly stopped. She refused to believe it. Emily would never do something like that. But when her attorney investigated further, the truth became even more frightening. Every transaction had been made from a computer inside Emily and Ryan's home. That night, Eleanor could not sleep. She sat staring at the family photographs hanging on the wall and wondered what had happened to the daughter she loved more than her own life. That evening, the entire family gathered for the birthday celebration. Ryan constantly raised his glass in cheerful toasts. Emily smiled as if nothing was wrong. Then Eleanor stood up. She thanked everyone for coming, thanked her family, thanked her loved ones. And then she placed a thick file on the table. The smile instantly disappeared from Ryan's face. Eleanor opened the documents one by one. Bank statements, transfer records, investigation reports. People began whispering. Ryan turned pale. Emily stared at the file in confusion. She had never seen those documents before. Eleanor turned toward her daughter. Her voice trembled. "Emily, did you know about this?" Emily read through the pages. Her face turned white. "No, I never did this." The air in the room seemed to freeze. Ryan immediately interrupted. Maybe the bank made a mistake. But at that exact moment, Eleanor's attorney walked into the room. He carried a laptop and a video recording. Security camera footage appeared on the large screen. Ryan could be seen entering Eleanor's home office multiple times over several months. He secretly accessed her computer, copied data, and carried out transactions when no one else was around. The room fell silent. Emily burst into tears. Ryan tried to explain. At first, it was for investments, then it became debt, and eventually everything spiraled out of control. But no one was listening anymore. The man the entire family had trusted for years had turned out to be the one who betrayed them all. Just when everyone thought the story was over, Eleanor pulled out one final envelope. She looked at Emily. Tears streamed down her cheeks. "I said that starting today, you are no longer allowed to call me Mom." Emily broke down, sobbing. But Eleanor continued, "Because after all these years, you are no longer my adopted daughter." The entire room was stunned. Eleanor opened the envelope. Inside was a DNA test result. Several months earlier, through a family search program, Eleanor had discovered a truth no one could have imagined. Emily was actually her late husband's biological granddaughter, the last living blood relative he had left. Emily was not only her daughter in her heart, she truly was family. Not because of paperwork, but because of blood. Many people in the room began to cry. Even the attorney had to turn away. 1 year later, Ryan had been held legally accountable and was required to repay every dollar he had taken. Emily moved in with Eleanor. Together, they cared for the garden Eleanor's husband had left behind. Every morning, they shared coffee on the front porch, just as Eleanor had always dreamed. The old family photograph still hung in the living room, But beside it was a new picture. Eleanor and Emily embracing beneath the summer sunlight. Underneath the frame was a handwritten message from Eleanor. Family is not defined by where you come from. Family is defined by the people who never give up on you. And for the first time in many years, both of them felt that they had finally found home.